The air was thick with an otherworldly humidity as Andy trekked into the dense woods. The sun peeked between the trees, casting mosaic shadows on the underbrush. The muffled sounds of leaves crunching beneath his boots ceased when he emerged onto a clearing. There was a small cabin standing in solitude, its edges kissing a serene lake that seemed to sparkle in the midday sun. An island stood like a proud sentinel in the middle, a lone boat resting near the shore, roped to a rustic wooden post. A figure was moving about, a young woman. Her hair, dark as a raven's wing, moved fluidly as she turned around, startled at first, then easing into a curious smile. "Hello there! You're far from the beaten path," she called, her voice soft yet full of life. "Seems like I am. My name's Andy. I was exploring and found your place. It's beautiful," he replied, a bit embarrassed. "Thank you, Andy. I'm Eileen," she responded, inviting him closer. They engaged in light conversation, the tranquil sounds of nature serving as the backdrop to their dialogue. He asked about her life in the wilderness, her cabin, and the boat by the shore. She spoke of simplicity and peace, but she hesitated when he pointed out the boat. "I have yet to row to the island," she admitted, a wistful note in her voice, "but I know one day I will." Andy left later that day, intrigued by the lake-dwelling woman and her unvisited island. His heart tugged him back the following weekend. "Eileen," he implored, "today's the day. Let's visit the island." Eileen smiled, a glimmer of anticipation in her eyes. They untethered the boat and rowed across the calm waters, leaving the shore behind. The island was as enchanting as it was mysterious, a piece of untouched paradise just within their reach. Their laughter and shared stories echoed into the air, creating an atmosphere of shared joy and curiosity. Meanwhile, in a sterile hospital ward, 2 adjacent rooms buzzed with the monotonous sounds of life support machines. In one room, a woman's frail heartbeat began to falter. Her name was Eileen. In the adjacent room, Andy's comatose form lay still, the rhythmic beeping of his heart monitor lulling the silence. Back on the island, as Andy and Eileen shared a tranquil moment, they didn't notice the shift. A sudden stillness, like the world was holding its breath. They looked at each other, their smiles not faltering. Somehow, they knew. In the hospital, the heart monitors flat-lined almost simultaneously. The beeping alarms pierced the quiet corridor, but in the forest, only the sounds of gentle waves lapping against the shore were heard. Eileen and Andy stood on the island, a new chapter unfolding in their existence, their mortal shells left behind, but their essence, their stories living on in the twilight between life and death.